April 7th, 2014. Guys, we're looking at SDO images, which are Earth-facing. Now, there's been two flares on the right. We saw one in the first video. We've had another one since the radio show tonight. And thank you, all you callers. But the problem is not showing up on this satellite because each satellite, the images from each satellite are received at Earth at different times. And I'm going to show you. But what I will show you from the SDO is here. The sunspot that's been that glow to the bottom left of the sun is starting to come around and give us an idea of the size of it. And you can see that it's quite large. Not only that, that entire group of sunspots is following both Mercury and Comet linear around as it comes over the Earth. It's almost a setup for a perfect storm, if you know what I mean, as far as electrical discharges from the sun. Now, Stereo A is a different satellite. This burst is picking up. This is not coming from the right side because A is in a different location. I'm going to show you Earth-facing images before this is over from LASCO C3. Stereo B, another satellite on the opposite side of the sun, has picked up this burst. Here it is on LASCO. Now notice it's coming from the area that we've been watching glow for over 48 hours now. The other sunspots, the other CMEs and flares we've seen have come out from the right side of the sun. This is that glow area that we've been watching. That energy has been building. And I was concerned when we first saw linear start to glow that this would happen. That energy would start reacting between the positive and the negative. That's the way God's universe works. It's an electric universe. Now, what we saw was a coronal mass ejection. It does not show up on the X-ray flux charts because this shows solar flares, not coronal mass ejections. Now, we talked about this on the radio show. Look at the sudden change from February into March and through April. This is not a round rotation like the Earth is supposed to spin. We saw the quick change in seasons. We saw the cold weather in Kansas. Now the wheat is not going to make it. It's so hot and so hot, dry, 100 degrees tomorrow. Those sudden changes, the Earth is not used to that. What we're talking about, you see the red arrow that goes through the Earth? That's the yellow dots on this polar drift chart. Normally you see the angle of the sun coming in and the area of the Earth that it strikes. But now that the Earth is tilted, it's different. The angle of the sun is different. It also is striking in different locations on the Earth and creating hotter spots in areas that normally are not this hot. It's causing extreme weather. It's causing the reports of the moon and the sun and the stars and planets being in different directions as you observe them from Earth because our viewing platform has changed. Now let's look at these latest images. These are Earth-facing LASCO C3. All the action's been to the right as we saw sunspot 51 rotate. But now suddenly the area that's been glowing, that we've been watching since the first report of linear, that's where the action is. And this is the strongest coronal mass ejection we've seen in quite a while. Again, it's not a flare. And it doesn't show up on the Boulder X-ray flux charts as a flare. So sometimes that chart can fool you as far as warnings because a coronal mass ejection can be as dangerous. Now, it's not directly Earth-facing yet, but we're going to see the side impulse. You saw the instruments pick that up. And we should really kind of keep an eye on the quakes for the next few hours. Then, and just because of the pulse. But in 24 hours to 48 hours, we'll start seeing the plasma density increase as it arrives at Earth. But the point of this video is this side of the sun, with not only the big one that you just saw cause this coronal mass ejection, but that array above it of 6 to 7 sunspots that's going to be reacting as we see the electrical charge possibly build up with Comet linear. And again, if you saw the video yesterday, anything directed at linear, as large as you see these coronal mass ejections, the Earth is directly in that path. So your chance of earthquakes goes up. Your chance of power outages will go up, guys, because I've seen it in 2011. Saw 17 million people in India go down after one of these, and power go out from West Texas to California down to Mexico. Now, and again, this is a kind of a perfect storm with this comet. It's not a sun diver. Remember that. It's kind of an Earth diver, closest to Earth in recorded history. So it's definitely a time to watch this. Going to be very interesting. We'll update it tomorrow. Heads up.